We're at the southern entrance to Ardis Drive. There is a northern and a southern entrance, and it's a one-way drive, about 5 miles or so in total. Nice road. It's a paved road the whole way. Anyway, it goes up into the base of the hills up there, and there are some beautiful formations of different types of minerals in the mountains, and that's why it's called Ardis Drive. The formations create some amazing artwork, and you're looking up at the Black Mountains above. Anyway, there are 3 hikes that you can take. If you want to do a little more than just drive your car around Ardis Drive and stop at Ardis Palette, which is the most beautiful mineral deposits, and you can drive up there, take some pictures, and a lot of people do that, and then circle around and come down out the other end of Ardis Drive. But if you would like, there are 3 hikes, and the first hike is in what you call First Dip Canyon on this road, Ardis Drive Road, and it is about a quarter mile up the wash to a dry fall, and you can navigate past the dry fall and do something a little more challenging, but that's one way that you can experience the Ardis Drive is take these hikes. That first one in First Dip Canyon has places to park on either side of the road. You don't want to park in the center of the road. And then there's Second Dip Canyon, and Second Dip Canyon is about a half mile past First Dip Canyon, and you'll experience, once you get out and walk along the trail, a tight overhang, and eventually come to a 20-foot dry fall. And then the third hike is at Ardis Palette, and you can park at the palette and then go down to the base of the palette and then just hike around the canyons. Ardis Drive is the very best in the evening. That's when the sunset is really bringing out the colors of in the mountains there. And I imagine there are some other potential hikes around Ardis Drive. I've seen cars park. Just look for where cars park and where there might be a little trail, and hike around and enjoy yourself. And then let's do a 360-degree view. There's the Black Mountains, and I believe Mount Perry is the high point up in the center. And then, and it may be actually this mountain here. I'm not sure from this perspective which is Mount Perry. But anyway, you continue along what's called Dante's Ridge, and you end up at Dante's View, which is somewhere right in this area. It's above Badwater, and it's about a 4-mile hike each way, and beautiful, spectacular views of Death Valley the whole way. And then now we're looking toward the Badwater Basin, Devil's Golf Course area, and then you can see to the west the Panoramic Range, and then back to Badwater Road and the entrance to Ardis Drive. So let's go ahead and take that entrance and find that First Dip Canyon. Walk around there. So while this doesn't classify as one of the Dip Canyon hikes, it is a little parking area about 1.5 miles or so up the Ardis Drive road, and you can see the nature of the road. Just a one-way, but very nice asphalt road. Anyway, yeah, you can hike over to an overlook, and we'll go up to that overlook. And then you can go another direction along this ridge and then up to the summit of the ridge. You know, it's not necessarily a super challenging hike, but if you just want to get out of the car and experience the valley here, it's a great way to do it. And there's Telescope Peak. So let's go ahead and take this first little couple hikes here. Okay, here we are. And head up to that top of the ridge there, and then just hike along the top of the ridge for a little bit. See what things look like from up there. Then we'll come down and look at the overlook straight ahead in the center. One cool thing about Death Valley is that it doesn't take long to feel like you've gone up 1,000 feet. There you see the little parking area. It only took me about a minute to get to this point. But wow, the perspective that you have from here. Southern Death Valley. And now the Funeral Mountain Range. Funeral Mountains, Black Mountains. Wow. Look up this way. Looks like someone has created a little uphill trail right in the middle of this ridge here. A little avalanche trail, definitely. But yeah, you can just cut loose and hike all over the area. And you can see the beautiful colors in the mountains are going to become more and more evident, but even now you can see some colors, and and definitely if you're here in the evening during sunset, this is right now we're about 11:30 in the morning, so yeah, you're not getting the sunset view, but you can still see some amazing colors around you. And back down to Death Valley, and that's looking northwest. A lot of wind, but yeah, this is just a little ridge hike. It's got to be all of a quarter mile, but I'd say Death Valley View Ridge off of Ardis Palette. There you are looking northwest up Death Valley. And more to the west, there's Telescope Peak. Black Mountains. And I almost believe that Mount Perry is one of the high points up there. Either the one on the right or the one on the left, probably the one right in the center right now. Mount Perry. pallet area. So this is a great place. You just want a great overlook of Death Valley by hiking just a quarter mile. There you have it. These little hikes that you're going to see around Ardis Palette are, for the most part, family friendly, very short. If you just want to get out, here's the ridge that we just ascended, then descended. And we'll head over to the other overlook. I think we were way above it before, but let's go there anyway. Quick view from the perspective of that lower peak. But what do you want to bet? This is First Dip Canyon. And looks like the canyon would be at the base of the dip, but there's a good parking area right up here at the top of the dip. And it looks like there's a little trail that heads up this direction. So we'll head up this direction a bit, and then we'll descend into the dip and just see if there isn't another canyon that leads upward. It looks like there is one down in there. So we'll explore around here, and then here you see up the valley, northern direction, now western. And here you can see the telescope peak. And then looking south, down the valley, and we'll get a better perspective when we get a little higher up here. I don't know that this goes too very far right here, but we'll check it out, see where it takes us. I may have wanted to be on the other side of this ridge, start out at the bottom of the dip, but here we are up here. Give you a quick 360. As you can see, we haven't gone very far from the beast. But let's just ascend this ridge and see what the world looks on the other side of the ridge, and then you can continue ascending this canyon also. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Not sure. You'll see in the next segment. Okay, what I can see here is a canyon below, which began at the base of that first dip. I had started from the top of the dip, and you can see the little wash I was ascending just ends in this spot. There's no real ascent beyond this. It's all loose rock. You don't want to try to get up that. And then here you can see, one thing you can see from here though, that you probably can't see from the First Dip Canyon, is the panoramic view of the valley from the southern view, southwestern. There you're looking at Telescope Peak area, the snow-covered mountains. And then along the top of the Panoramic Range. And then up the north side of the valley, And then of course this huge canyon and immediate drop off below me here is probably the actual first dip canyon. So let's head back down. We didn't get very far. There you can see the beast right down there. And let's go ahead and just go to the base of that dip and go up the dip and see what we can see. Okay, let's go down to the bottom of this dip. And the reason I didn't go down earlier is I could not see any parking area. And of course it's a one-way road, so you can't turn back if you go too far. But now I see that there's a place to park down here at the base of the dip. So let's just see about how far up the canyon we can go. So this would be the official first dip canyon. I was above the canyon on the southern wall. But anyway, yeah, let's go up here and see how far we get. And by the way, there are some parking spaces here, so you can come to the bottom of this dip and park. The beast is still up at the top of the dip, but not that far. Okay, here we go. That's a pretty cool little canyon, and not at all off the paved road. You could end up to see a canyon like this, you could end up traveling 1 to 3 to 4 miles off a paved road. But here, right at the base of the first dip on Ardis Drive, here's a little canyon. Let's see where it leads. Well, looking like a miniature slot canyon. Of course, slot canyon is a lot more narrow with higher walls than you can see on Las Vegas area trails. One of the best slot canyons is Anniversary Narrows in the Lake Mead area. But, you know, this is pretty cool. On up. This pretty much settles at the dip canyons on Ardis Drive. We're at the base of the dips, and you can pretty much see why, because the water comes rushing down and wants to go right over Ardis Drive Road, and the dip is actually an extension of the canyon. And then here's a little dry fall right up ahead. Actually, this little dry fall doesn't look too much of a barrier. So we'll go ahead and slide up here. And boy, you definitely don't want to slide too much, because this is just jagged rocks all the way up, but not too difficult. Here we go. Okay, here I am at the top of that little dry fall. I don't know how I'm going to get back down, but we'll see. Okay, onward. The canyon continues to wind upwards. It's the first dip canyon on Ardis Drive. Okay, second dry fall, and I think at this point I am going to call it a day for first dip canyon. Yes, you could probably make this. Looks like there's a little squeeze, but no, it doesn't. That doesn't go anywhere. So yeah, you could probably do this, but not sure I want to. Get a 360 view. Here we are looking down the canyon. That's toward that first dry fall. Well, I've got to say it was, in this case, easier to lower myself down the dry fall than it was to ascend the dry fall. So not as challenging as I thought it was going to be, or scary. So heading back down first dip canyon, and let's go on to second dip canyon. This time I'm smarter. I'm starting at the base of the dip. This is the second dip, and it looks like there's a canyon going up in this direction. Looks like a little dry fall right at the beginning. We'll have to see how that looks as far as ascending, but if it's not too slick, we'll give it a try. Here's the 360-degree view. Wow, when you look at rocks on top of a loose composite gravel slope, and look at the size of those rocks. Wow, just imagine, get a little rain and that thing's coming down. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead, and you can see the colors starting to appear in the rock, and the reds are iron and the greens are copper. Okay, let's see if we can get up this first little dry fall. Should be interesting. Yeah, it looks pretty slick down at this level, looking from below. Not sure what that would be like to attempt to ascend without rock climbing shoes, even though it's not that large a distance. Looks like there could be a bypass over here. Right up that way. And yeah, it begins right over there, then right along this edge. Then it looks almost like little stairs. So I think I'm going to go for the bypass, and let's see what happens. Yep, that bypass seemed the way to go. Of course, it's going to be a little touch and go heading down the way I came, but yeah, it worked. There's the dry fall right below me, and I can continue on up the canyon here. Okay, continuing on up. I believe I mentioned the red was iron, the green was copper, and so what's the white? I'm thinking it's manganese. But then I am not a geologist, nor am I a rock climber. Just a glorified trail runner. Okay, as with the other canyon, and most of the canyons around here, the wall's narrow. And get a lot higher. Now, what do we have ahead here? Not bad. Looked like I'd have to climb over those rocks, but nope. Another interesting section. Am I supposed to climb up these huge boulders? Or is there an easier way? Wow. I don't think I want to go up this, but let's go around. There's often a bypass route. But that would not be this. Okay. Now it looks like there's a route up and around up there. Let's take a closer look at this right here. Very interesting. Let's get to the top of this and see what things look like. Okay, that's not looking real hopeful. A lot of loose rock, and it looks like it ends in a barrier. Now this may be a possibility, but we don't know. And it looks like we're getting into a little more climbing than I want to do at the moment, although this does look doable. Let's look around. There was what could possibly be a bypass going up on the south side and then potentially descending and then continuing on up the canyon. But let's go over here. Yeah. A little more rock action than I'm comfortable with right now. So, and that bypass, though it looks barely doable, that's a pretty huge operation there. So I think what I'm going to do is, at this point, we'll call this the end of the second dip canyon, and let's take a look at the next canyon, see what we're looking at. We still have that first dry fall to descend. That should be interesting. Okay, here we go. Yes, to bypass these rocks up ahead where we were just standing, I would suggest this side of the canyon, left side, south side, and it looks like it goes up. Don't know what happens after it hits the top, but the hope is that it descends and lands above this huge rock pile. So I'm not going to do that today, but that's my best guess at this point. May return at some point and do it. Okay, turning around, heading down. Second dip canyon. Right before you get to Ardis Palette, there's an overlook. So I'm going to go up to the overlook and see if maybe we can descend into the palette. We don't know. If not, I'll just get back in my car and go down to the palette. Okay. Heading for the overlook, and you can see Ardis Palette straight ahead, and just imagine this in the sunset. All these colors. So for the slideshow on this page in Las Vegas Area Trails, I will Photoshop those colors bring them out. Okay, so yeah, it is an overlook, but there's quite a canyon in between. So what I'm going to do is head over to Ardis Palette and park down there and then walk around a little bit, explore. Okay, we're at Ardis Palette. Let's explore and see what we can see. As you can see, there are trails all over the place there. So we'll just take one of them, see where it leads. Probably the one those two people are on. Looks like a main trail. Okay, you can see there's a little canyon route down here. There's a higher view. Let's start with the high view. Get a better perspective. I believe one of these canyons below was the canyon that was used to film Star Wars. If you watch the movie, you'll probably see something a bit familiar. Another little canyon. So lots of little canyons to explore in this area. And I bet when we get to the top of this next rise, we'll see a canyon over here too. Okay, this is a pretty good high overall perspective. You can see there's a canyon to my left or south. We're in the beautiful hills here. Iron, copper, manganese. Iron being red, copper green, manganese being white. And then here's another canyon down this side. To my right or south. We're on this high point. And you can see, yeah, people climbing all over the place. Or evidence of people climbing. So basically, yeah, lots of canyons to wander around. Just wander to your heart's content here. Give yourself a whole afternoon. And if you're here during sunset, you end up with some incredible photos as the sun hits all these colors and brings them out. There's a parking lot up ahead. We'll go up a little ways on that Star Wars canyon just to get a look at the canyon. And there you can see northern view of Death Valley. And then west, looking more toward the south. You can see a little bit of Ardis Drive, the road up there. It's all on asphalt. Okay, let's head down and go up the Star Wars Canyon a little ways. Okay, this may or may not be the actual Star Wars Canyon, but even if it's not, it was pretty close to this point, which means that it looks very similar. So let's just head up this canyon a little ways. And you can see other canyons off to the side. Hi. Endless exploration. We were looking straight down in this area a little while ago. Let's keep on up this main canyon. Okay, you can almost see the sand people, the Star Wars highway robbers descending from the cliffs on either side to ambush travelers in this canyon. This looks like a good place for an ambush. Descend down this little wash into the canyon. Just like you'd expect, passing through a canyon, you expect that this is the place to be ambushed. Another great ambush spot. Come down over these hills to the innocent Star Wars people. Whoops, looks like we got something to jump over. These canyons change constantly, and what looked like a nice flat roadway, all of a sudden, with the next rain, you've got water. It creates a new little area to jump over. Lots of side canyons. It's a real maze. Yeah, if you get lost in this area, just act like water and flow downhill. Oh, which way shall we go? Let's go this way. I like this opening. This just draws you in. You want to see what's around the next corner. Okay, we'll go up to this next rise, then turn around. Got to make a beeline back for Las Vegas. Every adventure on LasVegasAreaTrails.com starts in the morning, ends in the evening, and there are no overnighters. So anything that you see on the website, you can do in one day from Las Vegas, depending on your conditioning. Okay, well, let's look around here. Yeah, there in the distance is the hill, that colorful hill that we saw standing just opposite that hill on a ridge. It is amazing the difference here. You see stark, colorless walls around you, and you can see just by looking at the rock that this is all composite. This is all the material that was washed down from above and then further cut again by the subsequent action of water. So it's a wash within a wash. As you can see, endless canyons up here. A lot of sheer drop-offs, so you don't want to get near the end or the edge of the drop-off because it's all loose material. In fact, I'm standing on that right now. But you see another little canyon below, and then it goes off in this direction up, this direction upward. So canyons all around. Your little canyon washes. There's that colorful hill, part of Ardis Palette. And you can see Death Valley, the floor of the valley in the background there. Okay, this is concluding our Ardis Palette canyons, just wandering around a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to stop at the beginning of Ardis Palette. We'll look at the interpretive sign. You can pause it and read what it says. Definitely much more detail than this trail runner, non-geologist, could put together for you. And after Ardis Palette, I think that there are a few more deviations you can take, little hikes on Ardis Drive. And Ardis Drive, by the way, is about a 10-mile loop. I said a little earlier it was 5 miles. But in looking at the signs, yeah, it's about 10 miles. And so there's probably, I don't know, 4 miles left to go. We're at a high point, so the rest should be downhill. And as I mentioned, there are a few other little side hikes that you can take before you're through with Ardis Palette, but we demonstrated today 3 of them. Okay. Do it.